There are moments in a relationship when a single sentence can change everything. Not just hurt, but completely shift how you feel, what you believe, and where you stand. When words come from someone you love, they carry more than meaning, they carry emotional weight. And sometimes, one sentence is enough to make everything feel different. If he ever says this to you, it's not just painful. It's the kind of sentence that can break your heart completely. This line reflects a deeply emotional reality that many people face in relationships. Words are never just words when they come from someone you love. They carry meaning, intention, and emotional weight. When a man says something that signals distance, detachment, or the end of a future together, it doesn't just hurt. It can feel like everything you believed in suddenly falls apart. In any relationship, a woman invests not only her time, but also her emotions, trust, and dreams. She builds a sense of safety and belonging with that person. So when she hears something that threatens that connection, it can create a strong emotional shock. It's not just about what was said, but what it represents. It can feel like rejection, loss, and uncertainty all at once. She may begin to question herself, wondering if she wasn't enough, or if she missed signs along the way. The power of such a sentence also lies in its timing. Often these words come unexpectedly. Everything may seem normal on the surface, and then suddenly, one sentence changes the entire atmosphere. That shift from comfort to heartbreak can be overwhelming. It leaves a lasting impact because it marks a clear before and after in the relationship. Another important factor is that many men may not fully understand how deeply their words can affect someone emotionally. What may feel like honesty or a simple statement to them can be experienced as emotional devastation by the other person. This highlights the importance of emotional awareness and communication. The way something is said, the tone, and the timing all matter just as much as the words themselves. Despite the pain, such moments can also bring clarity. As difficult as it is to hear those words, they can reveal the truth about the relationship. Sometimes they prevent someone from holding on to something that is no longer genuine. In that sense, the pain becomes part of a larger process of growth, healing, and self-discovery. In the end, this sentence is powerful because it represents a turning point. It shows how fragile emotions can be and how important it is to handle relationships with care and respect. Words have the ability to build or break, to heal or to hurt. That is why they should always be used with awareness and responsibility. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like, share, and follow for more real and relatable relationship insights. There's one thing a man can say that changes everything, and if you hear it, nothing ever feels the same again. This statement captures a powerful emotional truth about relationships and the impact of words. In any close connection, especially romantic ones, people build a sense of comfort, trust, and emotional safety over time. A woman often invests deeply, not just in the present, but also in the future she imagines with that person. Because of this, certain words don't just communicate a message, they completely shift emotions, expectations, and reality in a single moment. When a man says something that signals distance, loss of love, or uncertainty about the future, it can feel like the entire foundation of the relationship is shaken. It's not just about hearing a sentence, it's about realizing that things are no longer what they once seemed. That realization can be overwhelming. It creates a mix of emotions, shock, sadness, confusion, and sometimes even denial. A woman may replay that moment in her mind, trying to understand what led to it and whether anything could have been done differently. The reason such a sentence feels so powerful is because of the emotional attachment involved. When feelings are deep, even a small change in tone or choice of words can have a big impact. A sentence that suggests emotional withdrawal doesn't just hurt in the moment, it lingers. It changes how she views past memories and future possibilities. Moments that once felt meaningful may suddenly feel uncertain, and the future that once seemed clear may now feel unclear and unstable. Timing also plays a major role in how these words are experienced. Often they come without warning. One moment everything seems normal, and the next, everything feels different. That sudden emotional shift makes the impact even stronger. It creates a clear divide between before and after, making it hard to go back to how things were. Even if the relationship continues, something inside may have already changed permanently. Another important aspect is awareness. Sometimes, the person speaking may not fully realize the depth of impact their words will have. What might feel like honesty or clarity to them can feel like emotional loss to the other person. This shows how important it is to communicate with care, empathy, and understanding. Words should not only express truth, but also consider the emotional state of the person receiving them. In the end, this one sentence represents more than just a moment. It represents a turning point. It reminds us how deeply words can affect emotions and how relationships can shift with a single conversation. Once those words are spoken, things rarely feel the same again, because they reveal a reality that cannot be ignored. If these words come out of his mouth, it's more than just hurt. It's a moment that can shatter you inside. This sentence reflects a deep emotional truth about how powerful words can be in a relationship. When feelings are involved, communication is never just about speaking. It's about connection, understanding, and emotional security. A woman who is emotionally invested in someone doesn't just listen to words, she feels them. So when certain words are spoken, especially ones that suggest distance, rejection, or an ending, they don't just hurt on the surface, they impact her deeply from within. In a relationship, trust and emotional attachment are built over time. A woman begins to feel safe, valued, and connected. She creates memories, shares vulnerable parts of herself, and often starts to imagine a future with that person. Because of this emotional investment, certain words can feel like they are breaking more than just the moment. They can feel like they are breaking everything she believed in. It's not just about what is said, but what those words represent. They can signal a loss of love, a shift in priorities, or the realization that the relationship is no longer what it once was. The emotional impact becomes even stronger because such words often come unexpectedly. There may be no clear warning, no gradual change that prepares her for it. One moment things feel normal, and the next, everything changes. That sudden shift creates a powerful emotional reaction. It can feel like the ground has been pulled out from under her, leaving her confused and hurt. She may replay the moment again and again, trying to understand how things reached this point and whether there were signs she missed. Another reason these words can shatter someone inside is because they often lead to self-reflection and doubt. A woman may start questioning herself, wondering if she wasn't enough, if she made mistakes, or if she could have done something differently. This internal struggle can be just as painful as the words themselves. It affects confidence, emotional stability, and the way she views relationships moving forward. At the same time, it's important to recognize that the person speaking may not always realize the depth of impact their words carry. What might feel like honesty or clarity to them can feel like emotional devastation to the other person. This highlights the importance of thoughtful communication. Words should be chosen carefully, especially when emotions are involved, because they have the power to either heal or deeply hurt. In the end, this moment represents more than just pain. It represents a turning point. Even though it can feel like everything is falling apart, it can also bring clarity. It reveals the true state of the relationship, even if that truth is difficult to accept. While the experience may leave emotional scars, it also creates an opportunity for growth, healing, and a better understanding of one's own worth and emotional needs. Most men don't realize it, but one sentence from them can completely break a woman's heart and change everything. This statement highlights how deeply words can affect emotions, especially in a close relationship. Communication is one of the most powerful parts of any connection, and when emotions are involved, even a single sentence can carry immense weight. For a woman who is emotionally invested, words are not just heard, they are felt on a much deeper level. In a relationship, a woman often builds a strong emotional bond over time. She invests her trust, care, and attention into the person she loves. She may begin to see a future, make plans, and feel secure in the connection. Because of this, when a man says something that suggests distance, disinterest, or a change in feelings, it doesn't just come across as a simple statement. It can feel like everything she believed in is suddenly uncertain. That one sentence can challenge her sense of stability and emotional safety. What makes this situation even more intense is that many men may not fully understand the impact of their words. They might say something honestly or casually, without realizing how deeply it can affect the other person. A sentence that seems straightforward to them can carry hidden meanings for her. It can trigger feelings of rejection, self-doubt, and confusion. She may start questioning what changed, what went wrong, or whether she did something to cause it. Timing also plays a crucial role in how such words are experienced. Often, these sentences come unexpectedly, in moments when everything seems normal. That sudden shift can make the impact even stronger. It creates a clear emotional divide between how things felt before and how they feel after. Once those words are spoken, it becomes difficult to return to the same level of comfort and trust. Even if the relationship continues, something inside may feel different. Another important factor is the emotional connection that already exists. The deeper the bond, the stronger the impact of hurtful or distancing words. When someone you care about deeply says something that changes the meaning of the relationship, it can feel like a personal loss. It's not just about the relationship itself, but also about the emotional investment and the hopes attached to it. However, while such a sentence can be painful, it can also bring clarity. It may reveal the true feelings or intentions of the other person. Even though the truth can hurt, it can prevent someone from staying in a situation that is no longer genuine. In that sense, the pain becomes part of a larger process of understanding and growth. In the end, this statement reminds us how powerful words can be. They have the ability to strengthen a relationship or break it apart. That is why it is important to communicate with care, awareness, and empathy. One sentence may seem small, but it can change everything in ways that are not easily undone. If he says this, it's not just another argument. It's the kind of moment that can end everything emotionally. This line reflects how powerful and life-changing words can be in a relationship. At first, it may sound like a simple statement, but emotionally, it represents something much deeper. In relationships, arguments are normal, but not every argument carries the same weight. Some disagreements are temporary and get resolved quickly, while others expose deeper emotional distance and unresolved feelings. This particular sentence represents that second kind of moment, the one that changes everything. When two people are emotionally connected, they build trust, comfort, and expectations over time. A woman in a relationship often invests her emotions deeply, believing in the bond and imagining a shared future. So when a man says something that feels final, distant, or emotionally detached, it doesn't just feel like part of an argument. It feels like a breaking point. It creates a sudden emotional shift where everything that once felt stable starts feeling uncertain. The reason this kind of statement is so powerful is because it often comes during a heated or emotional moment. In arguments, people sometimes speak without fully thinking about the long-term impact of their words. What may feel like frustration or honesty in that moment can leave a permanent emotional mark on the other person. When such words are spoken, they don't just address the current issue. They often feel like they are questioning the entire relationship itself. This is why the emotional reaction can be so strong. A woman may feel shocked, hurt, and confused all at once. She may start replaying the argument in her mind, trying to understand whether this was just anger or something more serious. That uncertainty can be more painful than the argument itself, because it affects her sense of emotional security. It creates doubt about whether the relationship is still safe, stable, and meaningful. Another important aspect is that sometimes people don't realize the impact of their words until after they are spoken. What seems like a moment of frustration to one person can feel like emotional damage to the other. This shows how important emotional awareness and communication are in any relationship. Words spoken in anger can sometimes create distance that is difficult to repair later. However, this moment can also bring clarity. While it may feel like the end emotionally, it can also reveal underlying issues that need attention. It forces both people to reflect on the relationship, their communication, and their emotional needs. In some cases, it can even lead to growth, healing, or a better understanding of each other. CTA. If you found this relatable, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more deep relationship insights and emotional truth content. Disclaimer: this content is created for emotional awareness and storytelling purposes only. It is not meant to target, judge, or generalize any gender or relationship. Individual experiences may vary.